Rain hammered against the cracked windshield, drumming a rhythm only the lonely understood. The road outside the city stretched into darkness, slick and silent, trees bowing under the weight of the storm. Jack Rowan's pickup truck hummed steadily along the asphalt, its headlights slicing through sheets of rain. It was nearly 11. Most people avoided this road after sunset. It wound too deep into the forest, too far from help. But Jack liked the quiet. Out here there were no questions, no memories waiting behind every street sign. Just rain, wind, and the sound of his old truck breathing through the night. He was finishing his last delivery run, same as every other night. Boxes of canned goods and supplies filled the back, bound for rural stores no one remembered existed. His daughter, Ella, would be asleep by now, curled up with the dog, hair messy, dreams probably full of questions she'd ask him in the morning. She always had questions. Why he had scars on his hands, why he woke up before dawn, why her mother's picture stayed by the window where sunlight always found it. Jack never had the right words. The truth was complicated, and he'd buried enough of it already. He glanced at the bracelet around his wrist. Black rubber, worn smooth by years of sweat and time. The faded letters still visible in the dim light. Never leave a fallen. A promise, a memory, a weight he carried every day. As he turned the corner where the road dipped into the forest, something flickered ahead, blue and red lights stuttering weakly through the storm. Police lights. Jack slowed, wipers squealing across glass. The lights didn't move. A chill crept up his spine. Instinct said to call it in and keep driving. Let the professionals handle it. But instinct wasn't who he was, not really. He pulled over. Rain hit him like a wall as he stepped out, flashlight cutting through the mist. The sight stopped him cold. A patrol car lay on its side, windshield shattered, smoke curling from the hood. The ground glistened with oil and broken glass. He moved closer, heart steady but fast. Then he saw her, a woman in uniform, half pinned under the wreck. Her badge caught his light, Officer Sarah Miles. She was young, barely 30, face pale, blood mixing with rain. Her vest was torn, abdomen soaked red. "Hey!" Jack shouted over the downpour, kneeling beside her. "Can you hear me?" Her eyes fluttered open, glassy but alive. "Back up! Called them 20 minutes ago!" Her voice broke. "They're not coming." Jack checked her pulse, weak, shallow. She was bleeding out fast. His phone had no signal. Of course not. The forest swallowed everything. "You're gonna be okay," he said, though he didn't believe it. "Stay with me." Sarah grabbed his arm, surprising him with her strength. "If you run," she whispered, "they'll find you too. They're watching." He looked at her then, really looked. The fear, the pain, it wasn't just physical. It was resignation. She'd already accepted the end. And in her face, for a split second, he saw another woman. His wife, Sarah Rowan, same uniform, same blood on asphalt, same helplessness. Jack inhaled sharply, forcing the memory down. "Then I guess," he said, "we both fight." He sprinted back to the truck, threw open the back hatch. Under a tarp, sealed tight, sat a metal case he hadn't touched in years, his old field medical kit. Military issue. He never knew why he kept it. Maybe now he did. He ran back through the rain, dropped to his knees beside her. "Sarah, right?" he said. "Okay, Sarah, I'm Jack. I'm going to get you out of here. But you need to keep talking to me, all right? Tell me why you became a cop." She blinked through blood and water. Wanted to make a difference. "Good reason," Jack said softly, cutting her seatbelt with his knife. The blade slid clean. "Hold still. This is going to hurt." "Everything already hurts," she muttered, and he almost smiled. He opened the kit. Gauze, bandages, clamps, tools that felt like an extension of his hands. His body remembered before his mind did. The rhythm of saving lives under fire, the muscle memory of stitching in darkness. He packed the wound with hemostatic gauze. Sarah screamed, a sound swallowed by thunder. But he didn't stop. Couldn't. If he stopped, she died. "Who did this?" he asked between breaths. "Following a lead," she gasped. "Cartel. Suspects ran me off the road." Jack's jaw tightened. Always them. The same cartel that had torn his life apart 5 years ago. "How many?" 2 cars. Maybe 6 men. Thought I was dead. Let's keep it that way, he said. He wrapped the trauma bandage tight. The bleeding slowed. Her breathing steadied, barely. But the car was leaking fuel now. The smell was thick enough to taste. Can you move? He asked. I don't know. You're going to have to try. He braced her. On 3. 1, 2, 3. He lifted. She was light, too light. Adrenaline and rain made his grip slip, but he didn't let go. 20 feet, 30, 50. Then the world exploded behind them. Heat blasted through the rain. Jack threw himself over her as the patrol car went up in fire, metal shrieking, debris pelting the ground. When it was over, the forest glowed orange. Sarah stared at him, stunned. You're insane. I get that a lot, he said, checking her wound. Still holding. Good. He looked at his phone again, still no signal. We need to get you to the road. Ambulance won't find us here. I can't walk. I know. I'll carry you. He lifted her again. Fireman's carry, her blood warm against his jacket. The hill was steep, the rain relentless. Every step jostled her wound, but she stayed conscious, stubborn. Tell me about your daughter, she murmured weakly. What? Your jacket. Drawing in the pocket. Says for Dad, love Ella. Jack almost laughed. You notice everything, huh? Occupational hazard. She's 10. Too smart for her own good. Why won't you teach her to stitch? He hesitated. Because I don't want her to need that skill. Sarah went quiet, then whispered, Your wife. Was she a cop? His step faltered. How'd you know? The way you looked at me. Like you've seen this before. She was, he said. Died 5 years ago. Same kind of setup. I'm sorry. Don't be. Just stay alive. That's all I ask. By the time they reached the road, his arms burned and his breath came ragged. Headlights appeared through the storm. Another truck. Jack waved it down. The driver took one look, grabbed his phone, called 911. Minutes later, sirens split the night. Paramedics rushed in, cutting Sarah's uniform, their hands freezing when they saw the field dressing. Who did this? One asked. This is military-grade stitching. Jack stepped back, soaked and silent. I did. You a doctor? No. Then how? I used to be a medic, he said quietly. A long time ago. Captain Marcus Stone arrived, rain dripping from his hat, face carved from granite. He looked from Sarah's stretcher to Jack, then to the burning wreck. You carried her half a mile through that? She was dying. Didn't have time to think about evidence. Stone studied him. A man who'd seen things, done things. You military? Was not anymore. What branch? Jack met his eyes. Special Forces. Combat medic. The captain nodded slowly as if fitting puzzle pieces together. We'll need your statement. Tomorrow, Jack said. I need to get home to my daughter. As he turned to leave, Stone called after him. Mr. Rowan, thank you. You saved one of ours tonight. Jack paused but didn't turn. Just did what anyone should do. He walked back to his truck. When he climbed in, something caught his eye. His wrist was bare. The bracelet was gone. He looked toward the ambulance just as Sarah lifted her hand weakly. Around her wrist gleamed the black band. Never leave a fallen. Their eyes met through rain and flashing lights. Jack nodded once, then drove away. 3 days later, Sarah woke in a hospital room, white walls and beeping monitors. Captain Stone sat beside her, his expression unreadable. How are you feeling? Like I got hit by a truck, she muttered. What happened to the case? Forget the case, Stone said. Tell me about the man who saved you. Sarah closed her eyes. Tall, maybe 6'2", dark hair, calm under pressure. Really calm, like he's done it 100 times. He said I wasn't dying tonight, that he'd seen worse. Stone showed her a photo on his tablet. This him? She stared. Yes, that's him. Who is he? That's what we're trying to find out. Detective Maria Reeves ran the background check. Jack Rowan, quiet life, delivery driver, widowed, 1 child. Military record heavily redacted. Classified operations, Silver Star. Honorably discharged 5 years ago, the same year his wife, Officer Sarah Rowan, was killed during a cartel ambush. Same cartel still haunting their county. He's either avoiding them, Reeves said, or hunting them. Stone frowned. Let's find out which. The next morning, unmarked car, quiet neighborhood. Jack's house sat at the edge of town, neat, unassuming. Inside, pancakes sizzled while Ella worked on her homework. The doorbell rang. Jack already knew who it was. He opened the door to two detectives. "Mr. Rowan," Reeves said, flashing her badge. "We'd like to ask you a few questions. I already gave a statement. These are follow-ups." "May we come in?" Jack glanced toward Ella. "Give me a minute." He knelt by her. "Honey, go finish your homework in your room, okay? Am I in trouble?" He smiled faintly. "No, I am, maybe. But it's fine." When she was gone, he let them in. The living room was small but tidy. On the wall hung a shadow box of medals: Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Silver Star. Reeves's eyes lingered. "Impressive collection. Old life," Jack said flatly. Detective Park opened his notebook. "You were Special Forces medic. Why not mention that when we asked how you saved Officer Miles? You asked if I was a doctor. I said no. You asked if I was a medic. I said I used to be. Both true." Reeves raised a brow. "You were being evasive." "I was being private," he replied evenly. "There's a difference." The front door opened again. Captain Stone stepped inside. The detectives exchanged surprised glances. He hadn't told them he was coming. "Mr. Rowan," Stone said, removing his hat. "We need to talk. About? About why a decorated combat medic is driving a delivery truck. And why that same medic just happened to save a cop investigating the cartel that murdered his wife." Jack's face didn't change, but his knuckles whitened. "What are you implying?" "I'm not implying anything. I'm stating facts. Your wife was killed by the cartel. You left the military right after. Now you save another officer from them. Coincidence?" Jack's voice dropped to a whisper. "What do you want from me?" Stone leaned forward. "Help. The cartel's getting bolder. They've got better weapons, better training. My people are dying. We need someone who knows how they think." "No." "Why not?" Jack pointed down the hall toward Ella's room. "Because she needs a father." "Not a folded flag," Reeves spoke softly. "If we don't stop them, how many more daughters lose their fathers?" The words cut deeper than intended. Jack looked at her, then at the medals on the wall, then at his hands. Hands that knew how to save and how to kill. He thought of Sarah Miles bleeding in the rain, of his wife dying the same way, of Ella, who'd one day ask what he did when he could have stopped it. Finally, he said, "I'll consult. No field work. No weapons. I train your people, review your tactics, keep them alive." "That's it." Stone extended his hand. "Deal." As they left, Stone handed him a small box. "Officer Miles asked me to give you this." Inside lay the bracelet, cleaned, polished, with a note. "Never leave a fallen." "Thank you for not leaving me." Jack slipped it back onto his wrist. It felt like a promise renewed. 2 weeks later, Jack stood before a group of officers in the station's training room. Sarah Miles sat in the front row, pale but recovering. Stone introduced him, then stepped aside. Jack scanned the faces. Young, eager, untested. "The first 60 seconds in a crisis," he said. "Decide if you live or die. My job is to make sure you live." For hours, he drilled them on tourniquets, wound packing, pressure points, tactical extraction. He corrected mistakes gently, patiently. When class ended, Sarah approached. "Thank you," she said, "for everything. How's recovery?" "Slow, but I'll live." She hesitated. "The captain told me about your wife. I'm sorry. You couldn't have known. Is that why you saved me?" Jack thought about it. "I saved you because it was right, but yes. Maybe I saw her in you." Her eyes glistened. "We're raiding a cartel warehouse in 3 days. Captain wants you there as a consultant. I don't go into the field. Just observe. Your judgment could save lives." He studied her face, the determination, the same stubborn courage his wife once had. "Fine, but I stay in the command vehicle." Deal struck. 3 days later, dawn painted the warehouse district gray. Police units surrounded the target, weapons ready. Inside the mobile command center, Jack watched the drone feed, headset on. "Team 1 in position," came the voice. "Team 2 ready. Team 3 holding rear exit." Jack leaned closer to the monitor. "Pull Team 3 back," he said. "Rear exit's rigged." "That's where they'll run." "How do you know?" Stone asked. "Because it's what I do." The raid began. Flashbangs, shouting, gunfire echoing through metal walls. On the feed, 6 cartel members scattered. Their leader, Vargas, sprinted toward the back door. Jack's gut clenched. "Team 3, don't move!" he shouted. "He's got a detonator." Sarah's voice crackled over radio. "Captain, he's wired the door." "Red wire?" Jack asked. "Yeah. Pressure switch?" "Yes. Don't let him touch it." "Building will blow. Take the shot." A breathless pause, then a single gunshot. Vargas fell. The detonator dropped harmlessly. Silence. "Building secure." Sarah's voice came again, steady. "All suspects in custody. No casualties." Stone exhaled. "Too close. Always is," Jack said quietly. Later, at the debriefing, exhaustion hung thick in the air. Stone addressed the room. "We took down a major operation today. No officers killed. That's because of preparation, training, and one man who refused to let us go in blind." He looked at Jack. "Jack Rowan reminded us why we wear this badge. To protect, to serve, to never leave a fallen." Applause broke out. Sarah stepped forward holding something small, a medal, old but gleaming. Jack's silver star. "This belongs here," she said, pinning it to the station's wall of honor beside the fallen officers. "So everyone remembers what real courage looks like." "I didn't do it for recognition," he said. "I know," she smiled. "That's why you deserve it." As he left, officers lined up, nodding in silent respect. Sarah walked him outside. "You changed everything here, you know." Jack looked back at the building, light spilling from windows, laughter echoing faintly. "No," he said. "I just reminded them what they already knew." He drove home through quiet streets, the storm finally gone. The air smelled like new beginnings. A year later, Jack stood in a small classroom filled with ordinary people, nurses, teachers, truck drivers, learning first aid. A sign above the door read Rowan First Response Training. Ella, now 11, sat in the back row, proud eyes fixed on her father. "Most people freeze in emergencies," Jack told the class. "That's normal. But if you know what to do, you can override fear. Muscle memory takes over." A woman raised her hand. "What if we make a mistake?" Jack smiled. "Then you make one. But doing something is always better than doing nothing. I've made plenty of mistakes. People still lived." After class, Sarah Miles appeared in the doorway. No uniform now, just jeans, a simple jacket, and a detective's badge on her belt. "Hey, stranger," Jack looked up. "Detective Miles, congratulations." "Thanks. Couldn't have done it without you." They walked outside into the sunset. She handed him a folder. "Thought you'd want to see this. We closed your wife's case. DNA matched. 3 arrests. All cartel." Jack opened it, stared at the photos. The men who destroyed his world. He felt nothing. No anger, no triumph. Just peace. Closure. "Thank you," he said quietly. "It doesn't bring her back," Sarah said softly. "No," Jack replied. "But it means she didn't die for nothing." The sky blazed orange and gold as he looked toward his truck. Ella waved from the door of the classroom, smiling. Jack waved back. The bracelet caught the light. He had lost everything once. But tonight, for the first time in years, he realized something profound. Some lives you save on the battlefield, others you save by living. And he finally understood that never leaving a fallen didn't just mean in combat. It meant in life, too. He walked toward his daughter, the rain long gone, the road ahead clear.